Hey, what's up? It's your boy Vidal Davis, representing Philly and representing YouKnowIGotSoul.com. Make sure y'all go to that, check it out for the latest news on all the real fresh hot music. Hey, Vidal Davis calling.
Hey Vidal, how are you?
How are you, man? Pretty good.
I'm doing good. Thanks for taking the time for the interview, man. We're big supporters of your production.
Oh, man, thank you very much. I appreciate that, man.
No problem. I just want to kind of start out in the beginning, get some history from you. Kind of tell me where you got your start, because I know you did some work with Kenny Lattimore early on in your career. But where'd you get your break as a producer?
Actually, my first break was Kenny Lattimore. I mean, before that, during the time of mid-90s, the remix game was hot. So, during that time, we were just doing a lot of remixes and, making what money we could make. But I actually got my first single on Kenny Lattimore.
Cool.
And that was in 95 or 96.
Okay. And obviously you were heavily involved in the whole neo-soul movement coming out of Philly, touch of jazz and all that in the early 2000s, late 90s. What do you remember most about all that?
Man, I remember just, actually having a studio just to go into, we had DJ Jazzy Jeff, who we were signed to, touch of jazz, that was his production company. So, he made it so that we can go and work and do what we have to do, not to worry about, time, consensus, and all types of stuff like that, and then out of that, we just, look what came out of it. We got Jill Scott, we got Music Soul Child, we got Flowetry, we got, there's just so many things that came out of that situation, and just the six of us down there together, myself, Andre Harris, Carvin Hagen, Adam Barry, Darren Henson, and Keith Felder, That's what made it a dope situation. It was like a friendly competition amongst all of us to really make the project. So that's what stepped the music up as well and made it a little more, made it real crazy. And then, everybody wanted to get on the project at the same time.
Cool. How did you originally link up with Andre Harris? Because I know you guys worked, together extensively early on, especially with like Jill Scott, Music Soul Child, Glenn Lewis, like you mentioned. How did you guys meet and link up?
Well, me and Andre knew each other just from the musician scene in Philly. Two of our uncles were best friends. And my uncle, he's the music director for Phyllis Hyman, for the Winans, just various, numbers of artists. And those two were together playing. Andre's uncle played the bass with my uncle for the Winans. And we kind of just started linking up on a little rehearsals here and there. And then, we just started hanging out.
Cool.
Later on down the line, we started hanging out when we were teens. We just, figured out we wanted to do the production thing. And just to make a long story short, we're drummers. So before all of this stuff, we traveled the world, played with a lot of different bands. And I think I was about 17. I'm just giving you a whole bunch in a little bit. I was about 17 or 18. I got some case money. And I decided, that's when I really decided to reinvest into myself. I said, I'm just going to buy me some studio equipment. And not too many kids that age think like that. They want to go get a car or do this, whatever else. But I kind of was focused and knew what I wanted to do. And from that point, I got the equipment and we just started getting work, meeting up with cats. And, I had a friend, actually Keith Felder, he was with the Touch of Jazz crew. I used to go over to his house, he teach me certain things with production and then just went from there, just knowing people and meeting up with different cats in the city.
Cool. You worked on one of my favorite albums, and that's Music Soul Child's debut, I Just Want to Sing. We've talked to Carvin and Ivan about their work on there. Talk to me about, what you remember about the creation of the album.
Man, the creation of the album, I remember this kid coming in the studio, and actually, Carvin might have told you, music was homeless.
Oh, wow.
And Carvin took a big part of really, looking out for him. Amongst all of us, we all took care of him. And music, used to come in and sing, and we said, this guy is dope. He's dope. He's just a little pitchy, but we can work on him. So, just we all came together and helped to see something that Carvin believed in, and then we all came in as a team and helped get it done. And, I just remember getting it started, music coming in. We was working on Jill's album at the time. We put in more backgrounds on Jill's album, just getting them in the mix with that. Having around sessions and, just watching him grow into a great artist that he is today, and I just remember us just going back and forth. Ivan to have a track. Yo, can you play keys on this? Or I have something. Why don't you play on this? Or, you know, back and forth. And that's what made it what it was, you know.
Yeah.
But all that stuff, you know, I remember all those times.
That's cool. Another album, you know, I wanted to ask you about that you had a big hand in. Another personal favorite is Glenn Lewis's World Outside My Window. You know, he's someone I'm hoping will make a comeback soon. I know you worked with him throughout the years, but just, you know, what do you remember most about helping him with his debut?
Glenn, that was a turning point in our careers. That actually was the first project of Joey and Vidal production. That was our leaving Touchy Jazz and just going out starting our own thing, and that's when I met Mark Byers. And I knew Mark since I was about 14, 15. We grew up around the same area of Philly. And I would just always call him throughout my career, just asking for advice. He would give me stuff. Never asked to manage. We never decided. And he got in touch with us once we left there. And he said, hey, I got this kid from Toronto. I think, you know, you guys should do the whole album. It's kind of got a CD feel.
Yeah.
We took it from there. And, you know, when we left, it was just amazing, man. The first two songs we cut with him, the first and last song on the album was Don't You Forget It and For You, Your Song.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, after hearing his vocals, it was just like we knew it was going to be a winner. So we then packed up our bags. We went to Toronto and lived for about a month and a half and just recorded Nick Tass's album in his city. And we had help from Marsha Ambrosia. Lee Carmen helped us out on it, but he solely wrote that album mostly himself.
Wow.
And, you know, he just helped him really bring it to light. But Glenn, you know, his talent is amazing. He's getting ready to come out with a second single. Did it in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
His new album is stronger, and just he's coming back stronger than ever.
Yeah, we've definitely been waiting on that. I know he had, you know, an unreleased album at one point, and another album that was supposed to come out some years ago, but definitely hoping he'll come back strong. You know, talk about your work with Jill Scott now. I know she's definitely blossomed as an artist, you know, over the years, and you've had a big hand in that. Talk about, you know, her growth and what you've seen in her.
I mean, Jill, that's just family at the end of the day. You know, anything she does, I always feel a part of looking at, like, what I helped create. And same as from her, you know, I wouldn't be here, too, if it wasn't for artists like her.
Yeah.
You know, just working with Jill is just amazing. Just her personality, you know, she's just a real down-to-earth girl, real sweet person. She'll say what's on her mind. And, you know, that's how we kind of got to get those great records, because we knew each other very well between all of us. And this is how it started with Jill. We had a spot in Philly called Silk City. We used to play there every Tuesday night. So Jill it was like open mic, so it was a whole bunch of musicians. Jill used to come. She'll do poetry, but we'll play music. But she'll just do poetry over the music. We never ever heard her sing, ever a day in our life.
Yeah.
So, long story short, Jazzy Jeff was telling us around the whole time we going to play, y'all got this girl I want y'all to meet. She sing and she do poetry. We not knowing it's Jill. So, he said, look, y'all got to meet this girl. So, a couple months go by, and we've been playing with Jill in this club every Tuesday night consecutively.
Yeah.
So, he brings her to the studio. She walks in the door. She look at us. We look at her. We're like, that's you? He talking about you? He's like, you sing? She's like, yeah, I sing too. She's like, real hood with it, no silly, you know what I'm saying? So she said, I did not know, you know, that he was talking about you guys. So that right there was a great point. Like, we already had a connection just with the music, and, you know, maybe like a month after that, you know, we still didn't get in. So Jill kind of called a meeting, right? She said, look, if y'all ain't going to work with me, tell me now, because I don't want to see what she was like really forward with what she wanted to do. So from that point on, you know, it was just one of those things, like, you know what, let's get it in. And next thing you know, we cut Long Walk and Visit the Way, and what was Getting in the Way.
Yeah.
And those were like her first singles. Like, we cut them in a week.
Wow.
And it was gone. But, you know, Jill's just, you know, she's a good friend at the end of the day, too, as well. It's just, you know, somebody I make music with. You know, we know her kids, she know my kids. You know, I know her family, so it's more than just getting in there and making music. And that's just with any artist.
Yeah, that's cool. After the work you did in Philly early on, in the early 2000s, like some of the artists I mentioned, Music, Glenn Lewis, and Jill Scott, when did the calls start coming in, from artists nationwide, to start working with you? Because you guys were doing your thing in Philly, but then you started working with almost everyone. How did that whole process go?
Well, we had a point where, we were just stagnated at just being neo-soul producers. Mm-hmm. And, we just wanted to let everybody know that just wasn't the case. So we said, we're going to just step outside the box. Which, we've been doing a lot of stuff, people just didn't know it. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that kind of made everybody say, oh, man, all right. Yeah. We did O on Sierra. Once we did O, it was like, uh-oh. Yeah. So, it was just like, what will we do? How will we do a down south feeling track? What will we make one like? And then we just went in. Yeah. And long story with that, we were in Philly working on, I forgot what project we worked on at the time, but anyway, Sierra was in Philadelphia. And we got word that she was in the studio with R. Kelly working on that R. Kelly record. So we had Belado Muhammad, The Clutch, a lot of those cats in town at the time. And we wrote a record. We took it up there to the studio, which was the studio in Philadelphia. It's called The Studio. Mm-hmm. And we played her the record, and, she's like, we played it a couple times. She's like, no. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a burner for you, Yeah. She ain't get it, so then we got to call her back like 2 days later. Oh, my God, this record is crazy. It was to be the first single, second or first single. And from that point, it just blossomed. Then, we hooked up with Mark Pitts and Tina Davis, and out of that came Chris Brown. Yeah. We sent to Chris Brown, we developed him for Yo, Excuse Me, Miss, On and Pop, and those were the first 2 songs he cut, mm-hmm. and ended up being 2 of the singles. Wow. So that's how, it just went on from that. And then from Chris to Usher to the Confessions and Trey Songz with the Store Run record, Fantasia, we got the 112s, we had a New Edition, we did a lot of stuff with, there's so many mm-hmm. stuff like that old record, that really put us on the map to say, all right, they don't just do soul. Yeah, that's cool. Speaking of Usher, I know the work you did on the Confessions album caught up, but that was the single, but I love Superstar, even more. What do you remember about making that one? Oh, man, that record was just... We created that record in the apartment. It was me, Dre, Andre Harris, Ryan Tobey, mm-hmm. and Jason Boyd, a.k.a. Pooh Bear. And we were in Philly in our apartment, and we just had a little setup, and we had our engineer, Vince DiLorenzo, at the time. And we just, figured, let's make what will we make for Usher, And, we had an opportunity, L.A. Reid and everybody was, they were waiting to hear what we were doing, and, we just wanted to make sure we did it right. And we knew Ryan at the time, him and Usher had similar tones, so we said, maybe get somebody to sound like him and it'll help a lot. Mm-hmm. What you did, and Ryan and Pooh Bear, them 2 guys linked up together, and with us two, we had a strong writing team, and we did Superstar. We just wanted to make a song for the fans for them. Mm-hmm. And we said, I'll be your groupie, I'll be your superstar. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'll be your number 1 fan. Just the concept of it was so crazy, he couldn't deny it. Mm-hmm. And that record actually should have been a single, we thought. There's a lot of little things that got in the middle, but all in all, we're grateful for singles and everything we had on the album. But that record particularly was a lot of people still say that to this day, that Superstar record was crazy. Yeah, love that one. Talk about another one you mentioned earlier, the Chris Brown record, Yo, Excuse Me, Miss. What do you remember about that one and working with him? Oh, man, I remember Chris Brown coming to Philly. And notice, every artist I'm telling you came to Philly. Yeah. And, because it takes that to get in with them. For us to really get them great records, once we kick it with them a little bit, mm-hmm. and they come down, it's a wrap. That don't work anywhere else. But we like to get people here to see what's going on. But with Chris Brown, that was artists, Tina Davis and Mark Pitts. They called us and, let us hear this kid. They said, what you think about him? And we said, all right, yeah, we like him. Let's do it. So, myself, Mark and Dre and Sherman, we sat down and brainstormed to figure out who would be the best writers to get to come in for it. And we narrowed it down to one writer, which was John T. Austin, who gave you countless numbers of hits with Mariah, Mary J. Blige,
Yep.
you know, everybody. And he came in and we wrote Yo, Excuse Me, Mr. On and Poppin'.
Yeah.
And, you know, he cut them 2 records, first came down, heard the demos, everybody, you know, who had to make the decisions, loved the records, and we cut them. And I think Yo, Excuse Me, Miss was his second single after Run It, and then On and Poppin' was the 3rd single.
Yeah.
And, you know, just again, you know, getting in with that kid, Chris, when we first met him, like his energy, we cut about 7 records on him, and 3 made the album, 2 made the album. But we would cut like 3 songs a day. That's how fast he would go, you know. And this work ethic was just at that young age, 15, 14, I think.
Yeah.
It was amazing, you know what I'm saying? We had never seen that. You know, that was the first time working with a young kid that age that was so talented. And we just knew he was going to be here, and he's still here. He's going to be here for a while, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And just seeing that kid, you know, from a kid to a grown man now, just seeing him handle his career, he's doing a very good job. You know, he's even writing smashes on his own, learning from, you know, all the people like myself and producers like the Underdogs and, you know, all the big guys he worked with. So he took all what he learned, and now he's really turned it up another level.
Definitely did. I want to ask you about another song, and it's from Robin Thicke. It's from his, not this previous album, but the one before. I just got to say, I was listening to that album, and I was like, damn, I'm not feeling this at all. And then at the end of the album, 2 Lovebirds came on, and I was like, wow, what is this? And I saw who was behind it, and I was like, of course. So what do you remember about that one?
Yeah, 2 Lovebirds, man. That was we were kicking it with Robin in L.A. for a while, and, you know, we were talking over the course of days before we got in. You know, that's a part of the production, too. You know, you don't have to be in the studio all the time. We were trying to figure out what direction to go, asking him what did he have, what did he need for the album. So we said, all right, you know, let's figure out something. You want to go live or programs? We said, I want something live. I want a classic ballad. So, you know, being though we cut live music all the time, I have to do that, you know.
Yeah.
I have a lot of live tracks, so I just happen to have a track that he liked, and once he heard it, just sparked emotion, man. And the good thing about it, you know, we weren't in the studio. He invited us up to the house. We had food, met his family.
Cool.
You know, he had his engineer, and we recorded the song at his house.
Oh, that's cool.
And he would go out and write and back, come back in, you know, we'll be out playing pool or whatever. And when he's ready to record, he'll come in. He said, look what I got. So he sang it down for us, man. So when we first heard that record, we was like, that's it.
That's cool. Love that song.
You know, that boy, he got some soul. He got some soul, man. He got some soul.
a little bit, when he tries to.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, actually, you know, since you do the production side of things, when you're working with writers, you know, how is the chemistry like? Say you have an artist, and then you have a writer come in, and then you're behind the production. You know, how do you all coordinate and bring it together to make a song?
Well, sometimes before the artist comes, we'll get, like, from label or management or whatever, we'll get, like, a couple songs that they did just to hear the voice, to know where to go. We'll see let's see what they're doing, where they're at, and see how we can hone it all in and just give them a sound. We're about, you know, building. It's like a tailor. A tailor got to make a suit, make the pants, the jacket, the vest, the tie, and the shirt.
Yep.
So that's what we try to do for these artists, you know, and basically tailor fit a suit for them. So once we hear where they're at, this may be even before a writer comes in. So I'll just listen and say, all right, bam, then they'll mark, you know, maybe we need to get so-and-so to write on this project. Bam, we make calls. Whatever writer we need to get, they'll come in. Because any writer I get, you know, it's definitely going to, for me to work with them, our creative relationship got to be good. And if there's new writers that are handling that, you know, I just base it on how, you know, how we go the first time and to see how things work out. But normally, it always works out. You know, I'm pretty good with, you know, getting in the studio, making people feel comfortable seeing. But, you know, and the thing about writers, too, you know, every writer can't write to every track, so you got to get certain writers for certain tracks, too.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a process for those folks. You know it.
Okay. You know, lately I've seen you and Andre credited separately on certain tracks. Do you guys still work together? You know, what's that whole situation?
Yeah, we do still work together. Actually, we do co-production on a couple songs now.
Okay.
You know, Dre is my brother, and we've been together for about 14 years. So we kind of laughed at it. We was like, yo, we think if you want to try to do different stuff, so you can do separate stuff.
Yeah.
We built a name to each other.
Oh, okay.
And, we both play the same amount of instruments. So, he wanted to take a little change, so he's out L.A. working now. He never, been in Philly all right. So even before we were dreaming Vidal, I've been going out L.A. He wants to be out L.A. and he's trying to work on different things now, and I'm supportive of him. He's very supportive of me.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got that point. So it's still a dream Vidal, but it's like Vidal, blah, 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 a.k.a. Dream Vidal, a.k.a. Dream Vidal.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So yeah, just to keep all the haters out,
No, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so who are you working with, or who are you guys working with currently?
Right now, I just finished. I'm a mixer too as well, so I'm just spreading my career out as a mixer. So I've been mixed to start with, I just mixed Kendrick's whole album that came out this year, and did the single on there. As well, then from that, it went to Kenny Lattimore. I mixed about 5 songs on his new album, and just did a song with him and Layla Hathaway. It's killer. It's their first duet together.
Oh, cool.
So it's a very special record. And I got to mix a lot of songs for him on his album. I did 2 songs. Well, I did a song for Keisha Cole that I'm currently mixing now. Just finished up with Jawan Harris. I did about 5 songs. A new artist that Mark Pitts had.
Yeah.
Signed the Milestone record. This kid is so talented, man.
Oh, cool.
From Chi-Town. I'm currently working on 2 of Star Island's artists that is Pop and Oaks Company. Pop Wanzel. I'm doing Candace Price, which is another Chicago native. And I'm working on Sterling Sims, which is a Philadelphia native.
Yeah.
And they have a group called Imprint. And they're all from Philadelphia, so I've been helping them out with that. Preparing to get back into Vidal now. Just finished a record with Marsha Ambrosius. Just did a record with Raheem DeVaughn. Just did a record with, oh man, that's a lot. I'm mixing Patty LaBelle, some of her albums. She has a jazz album coming out, so I'm mixing some of that as well. I just got a mix with something else too. The girl, it's the L.A. Reid's girl from the X Factor. Her name is Melanie.
Oh, sorry.
I can't remember the last name.
Yeah.
So I just got a song to reproduce for that I just finished up. But, it's just the list goes on. I know I'm missing something, but Meek Mills, I just did 2 records with some of my production team. I have a couple of little producers under me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's been going. Baby Green's first single, Here He Come, just got the #1 record with Jill Scott, was blessed. And that's, that's about it. It's just trying to really keep building this thing out and really put Philly back on the map,
Yeah. How much involvement did you have in Glenn's new project?
Very heavy involved. I ended up doing 2 songs.
Okay.
And there's a couple records that Dre did I ended up co-producing on, and I ended up mixing about 7 songs on this album and producing about 6.
Okay.
And writing about 4.
Okay, cool.
I have a co-writes on 4.
Yeah. There's one other song I gotta ask you about. Wanted to see if you were in the studio with the guy when he wrote it. That's the B.I.G. song you were a part of, 1970 something. Were you there with Static when he wrote the hook?
Who wrote the Static? What's that?
Yeah, Static Major. We're big supporters of him as well. I know we have his demo actually.
I forgot who wrote that. That's really cool. I know Faith statement up.
Yeah, Static wrote it. I didn't know if you got a chance to be.
Oh yeah, because we sent them the track. Static put it up here at Daddy's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did the track, but we got called to do it. They said, but we want y'all to see what y'all can do with these vocal stuff. Sent the vocal down, so I started listening to it and just, I don't know, just thinking I was a big 70s kid. Yeah. So it was 1970 something, so I just kind of came up with that. Just took that and chopped it up with the turntable. Just made a hook from that. And put his verses in, just made that thing hard. They liked it.
Yeah.
Put face on there.
Yeah.
He just killed it.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to see if you actually had a chance to work with Static, because we're big supporters of him and everything he tried to keep him on.
I have worked with Static a lot. I did a lot of work with Static, and that was a very great friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
Man, we were writing with Static for Monica. We did writing with Static for Fantasia. Oh man, we did writing for Static with Chris Brown.
Damn.
One of them didn't make the cut, but we had places with him with something else. But I spent a lot of time with Static, man. That guy is a very personable guy, man. I know he's still missed till today.
Yeah.
You know, he was one of the best that ever did it, you know, just with that Aaliyah album alone.
Yep.
You know, he gave her a sound, man. It's just like, when that thing came out, it was just so fresh and like,
yeah.
You know, Static is always going to be remembered. He's going to definitely live here and do the music.
Perfect. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, take care.
Yeah.